Hey there, it's Andrea and Wen, and I got some lovely Chinese eggplant the other day at 99 Ranch. I bought a lot, and so I wanted to make one of my favorite Chinese recipes, which is eggplant in garlic sauce, spicy garlic sauce. And the recipe that I chose is from this amazing new book, The Walks of Life by the Leong family based in New York. So let's get going because their recipe is really, really tasty. This is the seasoning sauce I whisked together. And it got started with a little bit of water and some cornstarch. And then there was sugar too. And then I added oyster sauce. This is a Cantonese favorite condiment, about 1.5 tablespoons. And then there was Shaoxing rice wine, stepping up. There was a tiny bit of dark soy sauce color. If you don't have that, you can just use a little bit of extra regular soy sauce. And for tartness, rice vinegar. And then there was white pepper for pungency and sesame oil, toasted sesame oil. And it all got whisked up in this measuring cup.
All right, so what you're going to do is start cutting the eggplant. And look how I am tilting my knife so that I'm cutting these triangular chunks. And that's what you're looking for, are those triangular chunks. And if you have a really large eggplant, cut the eggplant lengthwise in half and then cut your chunks. And if there's some kind of little oogie ugly bit like that, cut it off. The eggplant's still good to go. There you go. And now we are going to fry the eggplant. The frying happens in 2 parts. The first one has a little oil and you're going to sear it. I'm using a non-stick wok here. And yeah, you can move it around with your fingers or you know, use a spatula, whatever that you feel comfortable with. And then shake it around, fry it for a few minutes. And then what you're going to do is add a little bit more oil. I'm using a particular canola oil from China that I like. It's absolutely delicious, that I got from the Mala market. And you're going to fry that a little bit longer and keep cooking it at medium-high heat until the eggplant softens and kind of gets a little translucent. And be patient with it. And when you are satisfied, it has a little bit of charring in my wok, I then just dump it into a baking sheet, one of my favorite things to use when prepping. And then once that you've cooked all the eggplant, you may have to do 2 batches. You can start cooking up the stir fry. Check the recipe for make ahead notes. So I put the meat in there. I'm using ground chicken for this round of yuxiang qiezi, which is how you say it in Mandarin. I'm adding my chilies and my ginger in there. It smelled so good in the kitchen when this was cooking up. And then once that gets nice and hot, and I've got my sauce ready there, I'm going to add the eggplant back to the wok and get it going. If your eggplant is super, you know, room temperature or cold, you want to cook it a little bit longer, lower the temperature on your wok and get it going until you know that things are kind of, you know, warmed up in there, nice and hot. Because once that sauce hits it, it goes by pretty quickly. The cooking process does. And now what you're going to do is give it a little shake if you want, you know, practice your woking prowess. Give the sauce a nice stir or whisk before you pour it in, and pour it in the perimeter like that. Because what that's going to do is it kind of dribbles things down the edge and lends a little bit of wok hay quality to your stir fry. And I'm just using like a regular burner here. If you use a big burner, powerful burner, things will go a little bit faster. You may want to lower the heat a little bit. And once the dish is bubbling and getting a little bit hot, I just moved my camera there for you, then you can see that it's thickened up. I add the green onion at that point. And I let it cook for a little bit because I don't like too much of rawness in my green onion. And once that you mix that in, you are done. And then we're going to just dish out the dish, the eggplant in garlic sauce. And it comes together that quickly. Check the recipe for make ahead notes and substitutions. So good. Hope you enjoy it.
So what do you think? You gonna make that dish? I hope you do, because it is incredibly easy, and you can find Chinese eggplants at a lot of different markets these days. And even though, you know, it's sometimes out of season, farmers in California, particularly Asian farmers, are growing some incredible Chinese eggplants. So look for it at your Asian markets for this dish.